then going to happen on the 31st of January 2026 was that they were going to give us the Holy Sinner. So that when they give us the Holy Sinner, the real Ghanaians will go and vote for that sinner in 2028 to take us to the promised land. I heard a young man say that they were not going to vote for Kennedy Agyapong, someone who needed injections before he could sit in cabinet. I heard Abonye say that the elephant was that sensible than Kennedy Agyapong. Can you imagine? One guy called Coca, he said that Kennedy Agyapong was mad. He had opened the skull or something. So it was boiling up. But then Kennedy's side also responded. I mean, I heard Owusu also articulate the fact that Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia was suffering from autism. Hey! So between a mad person or autistic person, they were telling beyond the sinners that they have elevated the bar to be giving us their medical conditions. Madman and autistic person. So per the NPP's own rendition during this campaign, they are giving us an autistic person. For the Ghanaian to decide on that person come 2028. Sarah, if you are not worried about what took place last Saturday, and I don't know when you are going to be worried. On the platform, the very day they declared Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia as the flag bearer elect, his acceptance speech, in closing his speech, he said, look, as for the MPs, he can't thank them more. And that those that supported him will forever remain in his heart, and he will treat them specially. What it means is that the likes of Stika, the MP at Jusu, Ajensam, and Afenyo Markins, and Kweku Annan and the rest that supported the bid of Kennedy Agyapong, and those that supported OPK, them that supported Brian, they have no future in this administration. But that doesn't surprise you. It is the reason why already there are machinations, there are maneuvers to, as it were, try to get Afenyo Markins out of position, which will happen anyway, because you see, if Afenyo Markins is thinking anything different. Remember, it was Chairman Owusu who was the majority leader. You remember that? And Chairman was replaced by Afenyo. We understand that it was a coup d'etat. Chairman only came out to say that he had resigned, not from his own volition, but if he had not done so, he would have been booted out of office. That the NPP had two sets of membership. They had the fake ones and the virtual members. And that the Kennedy Agyapong supporters were fighting to make sure that the fake members were sacked from the party. So when he was addressing the supporters, whereas he was preaching unity, right there the supporters told, hey my friend, if you are the one preaching your unity, just get away. We are done. We will take our destiny into our own. And from there, I have heard and watched a number of videos online with Kennedy Agyapong supporters, particularly the lady saying that, look, they are not going to work for the NPP, they are not going to join the NPP. I said, I have the data here from, maybe after that you can publish, from our website. I mean the United Party's website, www.unitedpartyghana.org. Since Saturday that they held that election, Senna, between Saturday 6 p.m. to Monday, we have gotten close to 3,000 members shifting to our party. And I'll show you the data. I don't lie with data. Because they believe that what was going on was not right. I keep hearing people, they predicted right, they got the predictions right, as to what the NPP was going to do was a novelty, was something that was going to produce a different result. How many times did I not come here and tell you that said nothing will stop Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia from winning the elections? He was going to win. I'm even surprised that he got 56%. It shows how weak he is even within the NPP. Because the elections was rigged immediately. The National Council took that decision that it will be top down. And if anybody thinks that that decision was just an impulse one, then that person does not understand how the Machiavellians operate in the political setup or system. Every indication before election 2024 pointed to the fact that the NPP was going to lose the elections. So the establishment, and once again, people that still think that Akufo Addo does not support Bawumia, I don't know where they are coming from. His main support and power still comes from the Akufo Addo faction. So they planned ahead. And one of the ways or determinations they made was that if we lost the election and allowed polling station elections to take place before the flag bearership, it will work against Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. So immediately after the elections, they have to do that changes to make sure that they conduct a top-down approach. So right then they rigged the elections for Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, and I was very surprised. I don't know why my brother Sebe is not around. I told him countless occasions. He argued with me. He said, look, Sebe, I was in this party before you, and I know what was going to happen. So I'm sure by now he will be eating a humble pie. It was to be expected. But you see, the party, New Patriotic Party, and the elections that took place. I have said that right after the defeat, the report that was issued by the Asante Regional Committee that was set up to look into what really happened was also geared towards minimizing the influence of Kennedy Agyapong in their internal process. Because in that report, they attributed the entire defeat of election 2024 to Kennedy Agyapong by linking his utterances, outburst, to why they lost the election, without necessarily pointing out that Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia himself was the problem of the day. So clearly, the party was not ready to learn anything different. Beyond that report, you remember they embarked on a thank you tour. In the thank you tour, so now you and I know what happened. It was just a trading of insults amongst themselves. And that is one of the accusations that Kennedy Agyapong leveled against Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, that he had deliberately engaged young men and women in the party to be insulting him, just to also cause him to react to these insults. So it was building up until the election, the campaign proper, and the election. The campaign proper, I mean, some of the words that came out, if I'm to repeat them here, it will be so mind-boggling that within one family, first of all, they started by telling you and I that among the NPP, all of them have sinned. Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia had 16 sins, Kennedy had 10 sins, what's the name? Brian had 13 sins. Dóom was only passing a comment on Asase radio. They gave him 7 sins. That nearly cost his marriage. These people, Kwabena Agyapong was trying to dodge. They gave him 2. He's a lazy man. So say that this is what. But if you go into the sins, having told us that all of them have sinned, what was then going to happen on the 31st of January 2026 was that they were going to give us the Holy Sinner. So that when they give us the Holy Sinner, the real Ghanaians will go and vote for that sinner in 2028 to take us to the promised land. I heard a young man say that they were not going to vote for Kennedy Agyapong, someone who needed injections before he could sit in cabinet. I heard Abonye say that the elephant was that sensible than Kennedy Agyapong. Can you imagine? One guy called Coca, he said that Kennedy Agyapong was mad. He had opened the skull or something. So it was boiling up. But then Kennedy's side also responded. I mean, I heard Owusu also articulate the fact that Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia was suffering from autism. Hey! So between a mad person or autistic person, they were telling beyond the sinners that they have elevated the bar to be giving us their medical conditions. Madman and autistic person. So per the NPP's own rendition during this campaign, they are giving us an autistic person. For the Ghanaian to decide on that person come 2028. Sarah, if you are not worried about what took place last Saturday, and I don't know when you are going to be worried. When they were going around, the various candidates, do you remember the campaign messages that they were churning out? Let's even take the two leading candidates, Kennedy Agyapong and Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. For Kennedy, he said he had money and he had open jobs, and so given the opportunity, he could create more jobs for the youth. That was the thrust of his campaign message. That was the case. That was the one. The second one was that he was a bold person. He was never going to concede to an election as early as possible. But what was Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia's campaign message?
Ideas.
Hey! When I heard him say that, given the opportunity, he will be sending Christians to Israel to go and pray, and that was an opportunity for them to also renew their faith in Christ. I said, what are we discussing here? That in his mind, going or visiting Israel was the end of everyone's life cycle in religion. His next campaign message was that 10 persons from each constituency with the NPP were going to be offered opportunity to work in government. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
So clearly there wasn't any message. You go to Brian, ask for Brian, he was saying that, oh, this one was fighting that one was fighting. He was youthful, energetic, he could speak different languages. Every guy started French, so I don't know how that one was going to solve our food problems. But at the end of the day, what actually determined who won was the fact that the album that was existing had already a lot of fake people in the album that align with the vision of Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. Number one. Number two, monocracy or monetization of our body politic was the message and not what they were saying. Look, I heard a number of the delegates being interviewed live on various networks, and they were so bold to tell us that, look, we have come here, we are not ready to go and vote because 3 out of the 5 candidates have bought their monies. What are the two doing? You want to pocket the money? They won't vote until they add up. And so now if anybody is convincing you that they actually paid 700 and 500 apiece, then you must be living in a fool's paradise. They paid each of them in excess of 2,000 cedis on that day. But in order to manage public perception of what they were doing, they needed to just come out with the 700, 500, 500. Granted, Chena, that they paid, Brian alone paid 700 cedis. Now, in total, you had about 211,849 delegates who were supposed to take part in that exercise. Now, close of day report suggests, or the votes that came out suggest that only 196,442 actually took part in the exercise. So now, if all these people, and I've already told you that the amount that they gave them was in excess of 2,000. But let's even go with what the delegates themselves told us that these candidates paid. 196,442 times 700 for Brian alone. What it means is that on election day, Brian expended 137,509,400 cedis. That is for Brian. Remember, one of the reasons for which Adenimo withdrew from this race was the fact that the party called the New Patriotic Party was charging 4.6 million. When that issue was raised, Senator, countless of the communicators disputed that fact, that there was no way the NPP could charge 4.6 million. It turned out that indeed they charged 4.6 million. Add that to this one. In the days leading to the election, they went round the various constituencies. Any constituency they visited, they paid the delegates. So what it means is that this small internal contest, the New Patriotic Party candidates have expended more than 2 billion Ghana cedis. 2 billion Ghana cedis has been thrown away. A party that is unable to pay its staff at the headquarters. Remember that last year or so, the staff came out that they had not been paid almost 8 months after elections. And this is what members of the party are able to give out or dole out. But does it not prick your mind to link this to the levels of corruption that we experienced under the Bawumia administration? So you see, their actions and inactions last Saturday points to a fact and points to why this country was underdeveloped, because the monies are with them. And I'm very surprised what the GRA is doing with the benefit of these figures. By now, the GRA must be going after them to find out how and where they got these monies. Last year, on the 15th of September 2025, I, together with the Bobakman and Apia Dankwa, we petitioned the OSP. You know about that. When Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia had told the entire world that he single-handedly donated more than 300 brand new Nevada pickups. And when we put pen to paper and did the calculations, Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, if he decided not to touch a cent of his salary, could not even purchase 10 of those pickups. The OSP have decided not to touch that matter. So, what won the day was money. And if you are a political party in opposition and you are building your party and you build it around money, and we all know that you are not a Father Christmas, and then the viewers or our listeners must understand that they are only baiting you to vote for them so that they can come and recoup these invested monies, which will deny you the much needed development, which will deny the youth of this country the much needed employment, because then the money that has to be invested in the economy would be stolen, would be looted by them to offset the amount of money they have expended during their internal primaries and also the main elections. Now, Senna, immediately, now before I even get to immediately after the elections, you go to the results, into the results. And it's very interesting. They have taken sides. Yagaba Kabore constituency, Yagaba. You saw that results. I've never seen so, apart from General Eskin coming to tell us that he voted in a particular polling station, he got 0. Internal election, Yagaba Kabore, all of the rest had 0, which was the same thing in 2023, except Dr. Bawumia. Do you believe in that results? Do you honestly believe in it? Especially when we have been told by Nanka Bruce, a founding member of the New Patriotic Party, that he, Nanka Bruce, went to the national headquarters to go and cast his vote or ballot. When he went there, he, Nanka Bruce, as a founding member, his name was not part. Because in their mind, Nankab was also going to vote against Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, so they will take it out. The name out. But guess what? At the national headquarters itself, to further emphasize the fact that a lot of the founding fathers, the creme de la creme of the party members do not believe in this process. They see it as a flawed process, as a fake process, as a process that nobody must rely on. 987 people registered to vote at the national headquarters of the party. 987 voters. Senna, guess about close of voting. Only 481 members showed up to vote. And for the benefit of your education to your listeners, the national headquarters has voters ranging from past ministers of state, MPs, chief executives, national council members, national executive council members, and so on and so forth. Less than 50% of these members saw the importance of this activity, and rightly so, because they realized that the whole thing was rigged for one candidate. Now, beyond that, utterances linking to even the polling station and election. Before I forget, remember the minority leader's place. Afenyo Markins. They voted en bloc for Kennedy Agyapong, and this is where I begin to link the problems that you must anticipate into the future. Senna, after the elections, I listened to 2 sets of interviews, and I don't know how they will be able to overcome these voices, these utterances by these 2 people, and what it means to the party. First was Sammy on Asempa FM. Sammy says, look, if Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia had won election 2024, he would have given positions to people who actually do not support him and do not believe in his cause. And it was therefore good that he lost, so that today that they have voted and seen the pattern of voting and know those that support him, in the future, all those that decided not to vote for him, count yourself out of his administration. In fact, I said 2 statements, but let me say 3 actually. When I heard this from Sammy, I took it on a light note, or on a lighter note. On the platform, the very day they declared Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia as the flag bearer elect, his acceptance speech, in closing his speech, he said, look, as for the MPs, he can't thank them more, and that those that supported him will forever remain in his heart, and he will treat them specially. What it means is that the likes of Sticker, the MP at Owusu, Agyensam, and Afenyo Markins, and Kweku Annan and the rest that supported the bid of Kennedy Agyapong, and those that supported OPK, them that supported Brian, they have no future in this administration. But that didn't surprise you. It is the reason why already there are machinations, there are maneuvers to, as it were, try to get Afenyo Markins out of position, which will happen anyway, because you see, if Afenyo Markins is thinking anything different. Remember, it was Chairman Owusu who was the majority leader. You remember that? And Chairman was replaced by Afenyo. We understand that it was a coup d'etat. Chairman only came out to say that he had resigned. not from his own volition, but if he had not done so, he would have been booted out of office. So he see his nemesis as coming from a coup d'etat that was led and actually executed by Afenyo Marcus. Now, Chairman Sabonso was the coordinator for the Bawumia campaign. And with this in hindsight, you think you will live there. They are already preparing upon Kruma. So that is the first crack. It is the reason why when the parliamentary caucus or the minority in parliament visited Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, Afenyo was so clear in his mind that, look, first of all, as a minority party, we never had any strategy in parliament in 2025. Secondly, the cracks are too deep, and that going forward, there must not be any individual play so that we can work together. And tell because he's afraid. But Afenyo is so much afraid. He knows what is about to happen to him. Afenyo cannot contain it. He knows they're going to boot him out. He said, look, Mr. Flag Bearer, from today to go, in order to let you believe that we are serving you, and say, now listen to this portion very carefully. We vote for parliamentarians to go and serve our interests. Is that not the case? Now, Afenyo, because of the fear of losing his position, went and pledged the entire minority to Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. He said, look, doctor, the whole of 2025, we didn't have any strategy. Now that you are the anchor, you are the leader of the party, whatever you tell us, that is what we will do in parliament. Can you imagine? He has shown the whole minority to as it were Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia to do whatever pleases him. And now all of them are going to, they are bowing like there is no tomorrow. Every morning they go and greet. Every morning from head to toe, everyone is going to the house to go and greet. But so now, did you listen to Kennedy Agyapong? When he met his supporters and few journalists, hey, things are in the pipeline. Oh, my goodness. First of all, it is so clear that Kennedy Agyapong does not have that much leverage on the supporters. His own supporters, they have a mind of their own and they think differently. The main reason why they supported Kennedy Agyapong was the fact that they believed the establishment had destroyed the NPP. Indeed, they have destroyed the NPP. That's why Professor Fibobati told you that the NPP had two sets of membership. They had the fake ones and the virtual members. And that the Kennedy Agyapong supporters were fighting to make sure that the fake members were sacked from the party. So when he was addressing his supporters, whereas he was preaching unity, right there the supporters told him, hey my friend, if you are the one preaching your unity, just get away. We are done. We will take our destiny into our own. And from there, I have heard and watched a number of videos online with Kennedy Agyapong supporters, particularly the lady saying that, look, they are not going to work for the NPP. They are not going to join the NPP. I said, I have the data here from, maybe after that you can publish, from our website. I mean the United Party's website, www.unitedpartyghana.org. Since Saturday that they held that election, between Saturday 6 p.m. to Monday, we have gotten close to 3,000 members shifting to our party. And I'll show you the data. I don't lie with data. Because they believe that what was going on was not right. Beyond the supporters telling Kennedy Agyapong that, look, if you believe in your unity, go. We are finding our own levels. Kennedy Agyapong also gives us an indication that, look, something monumental could happen along the way. Something dangerous could happen along the way. Something catastrophic could happen along the way. Look, my supporters, why are you worrying yourself? We have 3 years to go. 3 years more to go. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. This is a loaded message that nobody can downplay it or will ever attempt to downplay it. Because, see, anything can happen could mean that, yes, the party can even decide to, as it were, take Mahamadu Bawumia or remove him as the flag bearer, because obviously, and by now they should know that since Saturday till date, the euphoria around town is that this is the worst decision. It's even worse than what they did in 2023 that the NPP are embarked on, settling on Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. Look, so are you aware that there is an upcoming by-election in Owusu East? I hope you are aware of that.
For the NDC is doing primaries today.
The NDC is doing primaries today, right?
Yeah.
But are you aware that the NPP has already selected their candidate?
Yeah.
Babali. How many times has the NPP itself, through their communicators or assigns, been able to even bold to project the Babali? They voted for Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia with a view that Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia is going to champion the vision of the party as well as that of Baba Ali in Owusu East. Remember, Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia lives in Owusu East. And he has been telling us all this while that given the opportunity, he will win the Muslim vote. Thankfully, the Owusu East is a Muslim vote community. So they were expecting Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, after accepting to be the flag bearer of the party, the next Sunday he is in Owusu East, house to house, room to room, campaigning for Babali. It's the one that Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia do. The next available flight is in the UK, chilling. The man is chilling. Because there is nothing that he could go and say on the street that people will take him serious. I can tell you that he is going to be a lame flag bearer. Is Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia going to campaign on the economy currently? Is he going to go to Ghanaians and talk to Ghanaians about exchange rate? When he had preached to us in opposition in 2013, 2014, 2015 and 16 that there was something called the Dóom exchange rate. You heard that? And that there was a correlation between interest rate, exchange rate and inflation, and that given the opportunity, he was going to turn around the economy of this country, stabilize the city. Indeed, when they came to power, he was bold to tell us that he had arrested the dollar and given the keys to the then IGP. What's the name of that IGP? I forgot it, but it will come. You understand? That he was boasting that he had given the keys to. Now today, if Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia as a flag bearer decides to go out and campaign, how is he going to relate the current exchange rate to his regime? Now going around the country, the campaign was made relatively cheaper for him because the fuel that he used to cause Ghanaians to buy at 23 cedi per liter, he was buying it at 10 cedi. How would he be able to go back to the people of this country as the flag bearer of the NPP to say that, look, the current fuel regime, ours was better than yours, and for that matter, look at me and vote. What about the NAPO that he himself brought? NAPO, Nation Builders Corp. That a party that had a policy called, a program called the One District, One Factory, they did not see the need to invest heavily in that policy to absorb most of the teeming youth to be employed, but they saw the need to give billions of Ghana cedis, in excess of 2 billion, to a program that they were only paying graduates only 700 cedis a month. How would Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia be able to go back to the people and tell them that, look, the policy NAPO was better than what they are doing today? What about the debt to GDP ratio? What about corruption? How would Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia campaign on corruption? When in fact his own office, they were identified as being complicit in the stealing of rice. You remember the rice saga? In fact, the office of the special prosecutor has captured it as one of the cases that they are investigating. When they stole more than 10 containers of rice and shared it to Muslims that were fasting.
Please kindly wrap up.
What about the national service that he himself came to tell us that he had brought an app called the metric app that had the potential of, as it was, restricting registration of fake names into it, when later we were made to believe, and as it's so, that 2.4 billion has been swindled under his watch. So clearly, the United Party couldn't have been happier with the choice of Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, because as we speak now, the entire Kusasi zone, what it means is that election 2028, the United Party is poised to sweep the votes in the Kusasi zone. You know, this is not something you are going to run away from it. There is a rift between the Mampusis and Kusasis. So the NPP has deliberately said that, look, we don't want votes from one session. That's what it means. So we are happy, and I can say without any fear of contradiction that election 2028 will be one of the keenly contested elections between the United Party and any party that performs. Maybe the two of them will be playing relegation matches, but we are very much focused, and that expect surprises. I'll end it here.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.